seen in this area before. And talking to other people about it, there have been previous sightings in the area. It came from behind that little bit there, which is where I first saw it, and it came between the fence and the hedgerow, right the way along, until I watched it disappear just at the back, there behind where the seat and that is. And it was just on the far side of that hedge. In the summertime we leave the grass to grow high, and we have one broad piece of grass that is cut at the top of the field, and I was stood right on the edge of that broad piece, so at the most 30 yards away from where I saw it, if that.
Margaret's neighbour, Gary Bennett, has also seen the mysterious black cat. He managed to capture it on video before it moved on.
You know me, I looked across the field and I see this cat, and I actually thought it was just a domestic at first because I was half asleep, but then I got my binoculars out and I looked at it, and when it turned its head to me I could see its yellow eyes, and it's, well, I'm not sure now whether I did see its teeth, but I definitely saw its yellow eyes.
From the footage you can clearly see the cat in the distance. Its size is hard to comprehend without the knowledge that the posts in the foreground are 6 feet tall.
Margaret, who lives 3 doors away, she seen it a couple of months ago. She was up there with her dogs, and she got within about 10 feet, I think, I'm not sure. In the village, a couple of delivery drivers see it one morning, and in Lusby, a young boy seen it up in Lusby. So it's been spotted quite a bit around this area.
I've actually been on site where people have seen these, and the initial film does look as if it's a possibility, but a black domestic cat has got exactly the same shape, it's got the same movements as a black leopard. The only difference is the size.
Come here, yeah. Come here. Good girl. Sit down. Sit down. Well, yeah, I would say it was easily this size.
Mark gave us his opinion on Gary's footage.
Gary's footage, when it's first sat down, it's a domestic. That again, I told Gary, it's got all the features of a domestic cat. It's not. I mean, if you saw a leopard walk, you'd see that was a leopard straight away. But there you got to, and you see it pointing up ears. But it's a big cat, not a small domestic, if you know what I mean. Not a leopard.
With the possibility of big cats roaming the wilds of Britain, it is logical to assume that they would leave some trace or trail, such as a paw print. Alan Pickard claimed to have this evidence.
When I've shown other people them, they say a dog has a paw, the middle of its paw, and the middle would press down, where a cat, it doesn't press down in the middle. And also then the one with its claws coming out, a dog's claws wouldn't come out like that. That's not a big cat in the sky. This is real sandy here, and obviously its paw marks were, you know, easy to pick up into the sand.
It was at this point we received a very important call from Sandy Richardson.
This is where I parked the actual tractor. I lost the spring, so we looked round about, couldn't find one. We sort of wandered down here because I've been cutting all the way down, and the wife said, "I'll go put the kettle on." She knows me, you see. I said, "Right, you put the kettle on, I'll go and have a look in the caravan." So I walked down to the caravan, opened the little door in the side of the wall, and walked into it. As I walked in, I was facing the bench where the nuts and bolts were. So I start looking around them. I'm looking around the nuts and bolts, and I can feel, well, you can't say you feel the eyes on you, but you feel that there's someone there.
The presence.
That's it, a being. I dropped them down and I turned round to look. And there's this big black cat. At that time it was a big black cat to me, coming towards me. So it got to within 2 foot of me, and the snarl came and the great teeth came out. So, being a gentleman, I backed off. I opened the door and just backed off and left it.
The cat returned several times. On this occasion, Mr. Richardson had a video camera to hand and managed to record the creature that was trapped in his caravan. Again, it is difficult to determine scale. Initially, it looks like a domestic cat, but the window of the caravan is approximately 3 foot tall. Mr. Richardson's wife found hair from the cat in the caravan, which was eventually sent for analysis.
And that was when the analysis came back that it was a large black, they said it was a leopard type.
With this seemingly conclusive evidence, why is it not yet case closed for the mystery of the big cat?
There's been other sightings, but as I say, the farmers are reluctant to talk about it because they don't want a lot of sightseers travelling around. And in fact, they weren't too happy that I was talking about it today.
Now, I heard that I did hear a story, whether it's true or not, that there's actually a guy goes round, the police phone him up when he spot one of these big cats, and he goes and dispatches them, shoots them.
Gary's point may be more fact than fiction, as Sandy reveals some interesting footage.
We assumed it was going to be 1 or 2, but then when this mob arrived, you know, firemen and police and guns, well, we can't have that. Well, with these sort of guns, the animal wouldn't have had a chance, you see, and we didn't want them shot. We didn't mind them catching them, but we didn't want them shot, not like that.
Sandy rang the police, but was surprised when these men arrived instead. Just who they are and their connection with the police is unknown, but their motives are clear.
Just didn't want to tell anyone and have him destroyed. It'd be a shame to see him destroyed just because of ignorance.
Sightings and various proofs for the existence of big cats in Britain turn up almost daily in the media. The most recent of which is more hair providing DNA evidence of mountain lions being in the UK. With more sightings occurring in the UK, do we have reason to fear for our safety?
They're just going to keep out of the way. Everybody thinks that carnivores are big, aggressive species. They're extremely nervous and wary of change, and certainly they're not going to want to get into a situation where there's going to be people around. If there was noise or any disturbance, they're just going to keep as low profile as possible and just try and keep out of the way, which is the same for any other areas of the world where cats come from.
Obviously there's more than one, I would imagine anyway, with all the sightings we've had in Lincolnshire.
I think there are probably a lot throughout the country, if we only really knew.
The government have got the word out, see them, destroy them.
The government will never admit there's big cats out here, basically because panic, they don't want to cause a panic. Compensation for farmers and sheep losses and stuff like that. And if they do admit it, DEFRA's policy, the government's policy, any alien animal they're going to eradicate anyway. Even if they're trying that on the wild boar now because the wild boar's established and they're trying to cull them. The government will never admit these cats are here at any time, even if there was.